Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Cyan and I am back home in Atlanta. I'm back home from school, my first year in college, and it's summer. I'm gonna make a video today about a recap of everything that went down freshman year at Stanford. I guess we can start by setting the mood with some free music. Alright, so I have a video that is like a recap of my fall quarter. It's like a collection of all my Snapchat stories that I took that quarter. You can see it. It kind of sets the vibe of what fall was like with my friends. In general, I would say that my fall quarter was pretty relaxing. It was all about getting to know people, getting close to my dorm, meeting new friends, like creating connections, stuff like that. If we kind of go through what my schedule was, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I had an art studio class in the mornings. That was hybrid sculpture, so it was making designs digitally and printing them and manufacturing them in real life and creating big sculptures. Based off of that, it was really fun. I can insert some images of what I made for that class. After that, on those days as well, I had a CS class, and that was 106AJ, so it's the intro, very intro computer science class, but in JavaScript. So the regular one is taught in Java. I like JavaScript. It is quite a bit of work. So that was my class that I spent the most time probably working outside of class on. So that class had a once a week 50-minute session with a section leader who's typically an undergraduate. I loved my section leader. Shout out to Trip, you're amazing. That was on Thursdays in the afternoons, so that was really cool. So I was also in a program called Italic, and that is a year-round program that focuses on living in the arts. Half the people that were living in my dorm, Burbank, were in this program. We had lectures in the morning at 10:30 to about 11:50, and we had 5 instructors, and they would each have their own specialty and would teach about their preferred medium or things that they were interested in for that hour, and they would rotate every lecture. And then we would have section after that with our professor who was there to help us. They were amazing. Each of the faculty members for Italic was super special and super amazing, and that program includes a lot of field trips. So we went to San Francisco a lot to go to shows and to see museums and stuff. So we went to Hamilton, and in the winter quarter we went to the opera. In the fall quarter we saw a lot of performances, a lot of plays that were on campus, and then in spring we went to LA and we had like a weekend trip in LA, which is super fun. So that's Italic. Yeah, I think that's a good summary of my fall. I took about 14 units in my freshman fall, which is a little lighter. The average is about 15, so I purposefully decided to take 14 because I wanted to have a really well-balanced first quarter going in. I knew that having one STEM class with problem sets, one art class where I would turn in projects, and one writing class that was more discussion based would be a really good balance for me workload wise, and it really turned out that way. I really didn't feel like I had a lot of work to do, so I spent a lot of time socializing, spent a lot of time getting to know people, and that was really worth it. However, because of how much time I felt like I had, I joined a lot of clubs. I was on club tennis team, I was dorm glove president. There is this really amazing club that I am dedicated to. It's called ArtX, and it's a club that focuses on the intersection of art and technology and sciences, and I'm also the co-president for that this year, or the co-creative facilitator. Then I was also involved in Rabbit Hole VR, which is a virtual reality club on campus, and they are amazing. They had a program called Immerse, which was specifically for freshmen. It was the inaugural year, and so weekly we had meetings about like what VR is, cool new technologies are coming out in mixed reality and augmented realities. So oh my gosh, I really enjoyed that as well. But it got to me. It got to me by winter, because at that point I'd also decided to join Stanford Solar Car, which is a super cool organization. They build a solar powered car every 2 years for a race in Australia. And so I decided to join their like business team and work on their social media pages. Winter quarter, stuff was really starting to ramp up, and I was taking 16 units this quarter. So I was taking calculus, still taking Italic, which was 4 units, but now including a writing seminar, which is another 4 units. And other than that, I was also taking a virtual reality development class, which was every Monday morning and Wednesday morning, which I loved. I think this is also the quarter where everyone starts to get a grip on what they want out of their Stanford experience, and so you start seeing people a little bit less. It was kind of a habit in freshman quarter for us all to like be hanging out in the lounge all the time and like be playing games and like just chilling and playing music and hang out with each other, and I think that was like possible in autumn. In the winter, it was time to get down to business. Also just because winter has this stereotype of being more cold and worky. I think in this case the stereotype kind of makes the experience, but I still had a good time. My friends and I really did make time for each other. What you put into people is what you get out of it, and so my friends and I really put a lot of effort into making good memories. So one of my favorite things that I did in the winter was this like very spontaneous trip that we all planned to San Francisco. And so in one morning I like woke up my friend Zach and I was like, yo, like we're gonna go to San Francisco, and he was like, really? Are we really gonna do that? And I was like, yeah, let's wake up Kaylee and let's book an Airbnb or like a hotel right now. And so my friend Kaylee, Zach, Lainey, and Lena and I, we all was like, we're there to book the hotel, and we went, and it was an amazing time. It was super fun. I found these random flyers to go to movies, and so we saw Alita for free. I can't like remember anything like very specific, but I just know that like winter quarter was all about discovering like what you really want out of the school year. Also, my friends from back home in Atlanta, they came to visit. They came for like a week for their spring break. It was so funny because I never like imagined my high school friends in the same environment as my college friends, and just like having them there was an amazing time. Unfortunately, it was like raining, and as soon as they left, it was really sunny and beautiful, which is kind of crazy. But that was also kind of perfect for exam week because everyone's just like lounging outside, hanging out and chilling in the sun. And then it was spring quarter, and so spring quarter was supposed to like bring good vibes, warm sunny weather, all that kind of stuff. And sure, that happened, but it wasn't as latent as people from previous years made it seem. It was still kind of cloudy sometimes. The weather was still up and down a lot. And also it was rush season. And so that kind of started the first or second week. So immediately everything was constant, really busy. I'm not in Greek life, but a lot of my friends were. So definitely saw less of them on the weekends just because they were so busy with events. So the classes I took in spring quarter were really cool. Of course, I was still in the Italic program. I was also taking Intro to Bioengineering, which is a cool class conceptually. Not a lot of people were coming to lectures all the time because they're a bit redundant and a bit surface level, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm really interested in bioengineering, so we'll see if that becomes a thing. I'm also really interested in product design, so I took ME 101, which is visual thinking. It's like the intro product design class. And my last class that I was taking was a med school class about virtual reality storytelling, which just kind of shows you how like open Stanford is to undergraduates kind of exploring and like taking what they want. I learned a lot from all of those classes. Spring quarter, Rabbit Hole VR had a trip to USC for a virtual reality conference that a lot of my friends had submitted work to, so I went with them to support. I went to LA again for the Italic trip. I was also a part of the Stanford Concert Network, and they were having their big Frost Festival, and so Kali Uchis and Georgia Smith performed at that, and so I was part of the art direction team. We were curating an art exhibition to be displayed during the festival, and that was amazing. Every one of the artists that was in there did really good, and so I'm gonna definitely be the art director again next year. I'll be trying to curate art for the concerts that Stanford Concert Network has throughout the year. In addition to that, also Little Yachty came to campus for Black Fest, and that's another music festival that we have on campus that's free. And then another one that was probably one of the highlights for me, ArtX and the junior class cabinet got together and created an event called Darty. So Darty is like a day party, but it's kind of a play on words because it's arty, like art. And so we put together an art market and big installation, like a replica dorm room. So we painted furniture white and set up these walls, and people could come in and spray paint over everything. Also during that time we set up music performances. So I got together a jazz group who had like just met, and they performed for an amount of time. We had a magician, we had student artists, we had like such cool people come to perform. It was really good vibes. If you're coming to Stanford next year, please check us out, because I promise you it's an amazing time. So in summary, I would have to say my freshman year was an absolute blast. Of course there were moments where I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so much going on, what am I gonna do? I always had my friends there to back me up. We just had the like best time. I think that I kind of left feeling extremely excited about sophomore year. A lot of my friends will be living with me, and then also people that are not going to be around me all the time. I will be making effort to hang out with them. The time that we spend together is going to be even more amazing and intentional. It will help define who your real friends are, I think. When you make time for someone, it means that they really matter to you. My freshman year was awesome. I would 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you're coming here next year, please let me know, because I'd love to talk about it. If you need any advice on anything, reach out to me on Instagram is the best way to get in touch with me. I hope you have a great summer. Good luck everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye.